As a single father raising two daughters, you can imagine at the same time battling cancer, there were some unique challenges. When I had to tell my daughters I was sick, their first question was, where are we going to live? It makes complete sense because they were living with me. And that's where Pat O'Brien came in. Pat is my 29-year-old nephew. And Pat was living pretty large. And he gave up his golf clubs, his cigars, his brandies. He basically gave up his life. And he moved into my home for months and took care of my children. He did their homework. He did their homework, he cooked for them, he raised them. It was just incredible. I was challenged for months. What do you do for a person that makes this kind of a commitment? Well, if that person is a golfer, you buy them some new clubs. At that time, for those of you who are golfers in the room, Pat was a 5 to 6 handicap. Pat is now a .8 handicap. The guy can play. So I've always said my cancer has been very good for Pat's golf game. But he might have the game, but I always remind him those are my clubs. So as I said, it's always been about the people for me. None more important than my daughters. Sorry. God, I worked hard at doing this. As parents, it's our job, it's our desire to be there for them every single day. In my case, they had to be there for me each and every moment. They were truly incredible. They were the fuel that drove me to do what I did. They were the passion to be healthy. And they have created the foundation that I stand on here tonight. One of the things that we really worked on, and we always talked about, was being normal. We wanted to continue to always just live a normal life. By that, I mean they are still a pain in my ass. Morgan and Ellie at the time were 18 and 15, and while I was in the hospital, Morgan goes out and finds a boyfriend. And like any good father, I hated him. But he's no longer in the picture. So things are better. Ellie found a gap in the coverage of our house of babysitting, invited 100 of her best friends over to the house on New Year's Eve for a party while I was in the hospital. So what's incredible is that's normal, you know? And they are a pain in my ass. So, but it brings us back to why. So why are we here tonight? And I argue that it's a much bigger picture. It's not just about getting you to write a bigger check to the cancer support community or to putting a little bit more on that auction item that's out in the hallway or raising your paddle more. But when you're thinking about this, do me a favor. Think about what you have done for me that allowed me to do what I'm here to do, and that is to be a dad. And what I really urge you to do is, as he mentioned earlier in the night, how many people in this room have been touched by this terrible disease? Help others to do what they're here to be best at. And that is to be fathers, mothers, sisters, and brothers. And I hope that you'll do that when you consider the donations that you make. You know, in Ireland, to say thank you is to wish those people goodness. And in Mexico, when you say gracias, it's to wish people grace. What I say to you tonight is I wish you goodness and grace, and I thank you very much.